It is a great day to film. NAB 2018 has ended of last week. NAB means National Association Broadcasting. Feel free to go back and watch part 1 entitled NAB 2018 Key Products Part 1 Microphones. And in that part 1 I did a full introduction, so you can go back and watch that. But in that part 1 I did explain the fact that I'm not going to explain in depth of the specifications because the specifications might change for a product. Of the majority of products that comes out of NAB 2018 might change. Let's get into the video and see what's new with lighting, and I'll give a general brief specs of a product. Aputure has launched a lot of lights for this year, and not just your lights are just like, I might take a second look on that light. No, it's the lights that they have launched for this year. It's like if you had a local store and that sold Aputure lights, you would run to that store and grab a light. Or you would go online and purchase it online through B&H, Adorama, or Amazon. Because the lights that they have launched at NAB 2018 are just fantastic lights. So the first light is a RGB light. This is the Aputure's first RGB light. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. So you can change any color you want on that light. It has a color picker, and that color picker scans color and then send that data to the light, and the light will reproduce it in real time. And this is great for colorblind like myself. I'm colorblind. So with that color picker, for an example, if let's say we're doing a film shoot in a living room, and there will be a couch, and onto the right side there'll be like a small table, and then you would have like between, I'll just say tungsten, like this yellow color light. So you would take that RGB light, you would set it up on the right side to focus on the subject on the couch, and then you would take that picker, that color picker, you would scan that lamp on that table, and then that same color will be on the RGB light. And then you would take that light and brighten that living room as if it was the lamp. And this goes with practical lighting, which is really awesome. And I love practical lighting. This is just an awesome light. I couldn't find the price for it, but I'll definitely link all the articles down below of every product that I'll be talking in this video. And also within the part 1, I did not say this. If you go back and watch the part 1, there is already articles down below on part 1. The second light is 120D Mark II. It is 30% brighter than the previous. Same size as 120D Mark I. New controller box, so built more better and stronger, and it'll cost $750. They also did a Leica mount, Fresnel mount for 300D and 120D. And the Leica mount is that you can adjust the shape of the beam of the light. So it doesn't have to be a round beam. So it can be a square, it can be a thin light, it can be a small square. Also you can put gels on it, and also you can put shapes of like this shapes lens onto that Fresnel, and it'll shine that shape. For an example, if you would take a shape of a tree, that shape of the tree shadow can be lighted on the wall. They updated the Light Dome 1, which now is called the Light Dome 2, and within the Light Dome 2 it is much more easier to fold it and put it up. The Light Dome 1 was really time consuming to take apart and to set it up. So they updated that to the Light Dome 2, which collapses much more easier than the previous one. And they did a lot of accessories. They launched this year the Emron AL-MX. It is SMD bulbs. Now, talking about SMD bulbs, I have a Dracast CamLux. It is 9600 to 5600 Kelvin, and I will do a video review of this Dracast light. The difference between SMD and LED beads is the degrees of the flood. The flood is much wider on a SMD than the LED beads. I'm gonna show you right now, audience. So these are SMD. They're way flatter than the LED beads. And what I like also about the SMD is it is much softer than the LED beads. Actually, I do have a LED beads to show you the difference. Just a moment, audience. Found it. So these are LED beads. This was actually my first light that I've used. What I don't like about LED beads, the flood is much sharper to the subject than SMD. SMD, the flood is much wider. So that is the difference. It's always good to have both of them. If you really want to punch on a subject, then you would use a LED beads. But if you want that really nice, natural, practical, I would definitely recommend using SMD. But both are excellent in the situation you are in. Continue on with the Emron ALMX. So SMD bulbs, 28,000 Kelvin to 65,000 Kelvin. Battery time 4 hours. USB Type-C charging. And we're going to the whole USB Type-C, which means it's convertible. You don't have to decide which side it is. So this is a USB. So USB-C means that it is convertible. You don't have to, whatever side it is, you can plug it in. That's what USB Type-C is. So you can charge this light with USB Type-C. It is a metal construction. Also, with the Emron ALMX, shape of the size, that is the brightest light you can get in the market. The next light is Emron F1. It has LED beads, and that's what I was talking about, LED beads, which is like this light. It goes from 32,000 Kelvin to 95,000 Kelvin. That is a really awesome light, to 95,000 Kelvin. Compatible battery, NPF, plastic body. So the difference between Emron F1 and the Emron ALMX is that the ALMX is a metal construction and the F1 is a plastic. But the F1, you can actually see the color temperature when you dial in, so you would see the numbers in the back of it. But with the F1 is that it has LED beads. ALMX, it has SMD. So both of them are great lights. It is really hard to recommend which one to get because I don't have the lights in my hand, so I can't recommend which one. But I would say this: if you decide to choose out of the two, I would choose with the SMD, which is the ALMX. That one I would choose first because the fact that it is more of a practical lighting and the subject would be much softer. I would first pick up a ALMX and then F1. If you're traveling and you need a better build construction, the ALMX would be the choice. But if you're just starting off videography, I would recommend the F1. It's a small light, but it does the job. As you would notice, I called a Aputure light F1. That is the wrong model I gave. It is called the Emron AL F7. So not F1, but F7. Sorry about that. Continue on with the video, David. And then the blind spot company, there wasn't really much what they have launched, but they have updated their Scorpion V2. And the last light is a new company called Pro Choice. It is a flexible LED lights that they make. And this is a really small light. It is waterproof, has LED tungsten and daylight, LED tungsten and daylight, Kelvin 2,900 to 6,500. And this light will cost $1,000. So for a really small, flexible light where you can just roll it up as like paper. And I focused on filmmakers who create content will definitely look at these lights. Of course, there's professional lights and other lights, but I focused on filmmakers who create content daily and weekly and who are just starting filmmaking. The Dracast was not in NAB 2018, and hopefully Dracast will update the Dracast CamLux this year. Maybe not, maybe next year. But Dracast hasn't launched anything on NAB 2018. I haven't seen any postings or videos of Dracast at NAB 2018. But Dracast did launch this year it's called Dracast Yoga, which is a flexible light that I want to get my hands on. It is a bigger light than the Dracast CamLux. If you thought this video was helpful, share it. If you liked this video, click the like button. If this video didn't help out, put a thumbs down. Click the notification bell to get notified when there's a new video, and also subscribe. Be brave, continue filming. Until next time.